The morning sun painted New York's skyline gold when the first ships appeared. Commander James stood in the United Nations Defense Center, watching monitors flash red across the room. Above Earth's atmosphere, 300 alien vessels hung like dark clouds against the stars. "Sir, they're not responding to any communication attempts," Lieutenant Maria reported, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. The alien fleet belonged to the Korvax Empire of species that had conquered 43 worlds across the galaxy. Their ships were massive, each one the size of Manhattan, covered in weapons that could turn cities to dust. The Korvax had watched Earth for decades. They saw humans as primitive creatures, still fighting among themselves, still bound to one small planet. Their leader, Supreme Admiral Voss, sat in his command throne, studying Earth's defenses. "Pathetic," he muttered. "They still use nuclear weapons and chemical rockets. This will be easier than crushing insects." Without warning, the Korvax struck. Energy beams rained down from orbit, targeting military bases first. Tokyo, London, Moscow all hit within minutes. The attacks were precise, meant to cripple Earth's ability to fight back. Millions died in the first hour, but the Korvax had made a fatal mistake. They judged humanity by its technology alone, not understanding the species they faced. As cities burned, something awakened in every human heart, not fear, but fury. General Robert, head of Earth's combined forces, stood in an underground bunker watching the devastation. His jaw clenched as reports flooded in. "They want to break us," he said quietly. "They think we'll surrender like the others." He turned to his staff, eyes burning with determination. "They're about to learn why humans are different." Within hours, Earth responded, not with panic or surrender, but with unity. Old enemies nations that had fought for centuries suddenly stood together. Russian generals shared defense codes with American commanders. Chinese scientists opened their research to European teams. African nations mobilized their resources. The Middle East sent their best pilots. In 24 hours, humanity became one force with one goal: survival. The Korvax watched this transformation with confusion. On every planet they'd conquered, the first strike broke the population's will. Species would beg for mercy, offer tribute, accept slavery. But humans? They grew angrier. In hidden facilities, scientists worked without sleep. Dr. Anna, Earth's leading weapons researcher, hadn't left her lab in 36 hours. "We need something new," she muttered, studying Korvax shield frequencies captured during the attack. Her team of international scientists shared one thought: these aliens would pay. Meanwhile, ordinary people joined the fight. Farmers turned their equipment into weapons. Factory workers built ammunition day and night. Children collected metal for recycling into bullets. Even criminals joined the defense hackers' attacked Korvax systems. Smugglers moved supplies through dangerous zones. Admiral Voss observed Earth's response from his flagship. "Increase bombardment," he ordered. "Break their spirit." But each attack only made humanity fight harder. When the Korvax destroyed Paris, French survivors painted their faces with ash and swore vengeance. When Beijing fell, Chinese citizens carved promises of revenge into steel plates. The transformation was remarkable. Humanity's greatest weakness, their tendency to fight each other, became their strength. They knew war better than any species the Korvax had faced. Thousands of years of human conflict had created warriors who understood battle in their bones. Captain Tom, leading a squadron of modified jets, spoke to his international crew before their first counterattack. "They think we're weak because we fight among ourselves. They don't understand. We fight because we're fighters. Now we have a real enemy, and they're about to see what humans do to invaders." The Korvax had expected Earth to fall in days. Instead, they faced a species that turned tragedy into rage, loss into determination. Every destroyed city became a rallying cry. Every dead human became a reason to fight harder. As Part 1 ended, humanity stood bloodied but unbroken. The Korvax Empire, conquerors of dozens of worlds, had awakened something they didn't understand, the unlimited wrath of a species that refused to kneel. The real war was about to begin, and the galaxy would soon learn why humans were never meant to be slaves. 3 weeks after the first strike, the Korvax expected to see white flags. Instead, they saw something impossible. Earth was hitting back. Dr. Anna's team had done the unthinkable. Working with captured Korvax technology from crashed scouts, they'd created a virus that could eat through alien shields. "It's not pretty, but it works," she told General Robert, holding up a small missile warhead. "One hit, and their shields drop for 30 seconds. That's our window." The first real counterattack came at dawn. Captain Tom led 500 modified fighters into space jets retrofitted with salvaged alien tech and human ingenuity. The Korvax laughed when they saw the primitive vessels approaching. Admiral Voss watched from his command ship. "These insects think they can hurt us with those toys?" He stopped laughing when the first shield fell. The missile struck a Korvax destroyer, and suddenly its protective barrier flickered and died. In those 30 seconds, human pilots unleashed everything. Nuclear warheads, kinetic rounds, even improvised weapons made from mining equipment. The destroyer, which had conquered worlds, exploded in Earth's orbit. "Impossible!" Voss roared, watching his invincible ship turn to space debris. "Our shields are perfect." But humans had learned something the Korvax never expected: how to adapt enemy technology. Every crashed Korvax scout was torn apart, studied, and reverse-engineered. Earth factories, running 24 hours a day, produced weapons that shouldn't exist. Humanity was learning faster than any species the Empire had ever faced. On the ground, the resistance grew fierce. Major David led guerrilla forces in the ruins of London. When Korvax ground troops landed to establish control, they found humans who refused to die. Soldiers fought with captured alien weapons. Civilians built traps from rubble. Even children threw rocks at alien patrols, marking their positions for snipers. The Korvax soldier named Tor reported to his commander, "Sir, they don't surrender. We destroyed their city, killed their families, and they keep fighting." One human with no legs crawled through mud to plant a bomb on our transport. "They're not like the others we've conquered." What disturbed the Korvax most was human creativity and violence. When alien troops adapted to guns, humans used chemical weapons. When the invaders wore gas masks, humans switched to sonic weapons that shattered their hearing organs. When Korvax used shields, humans dug pits filled with acid. Lieutenant Maria coordinated global resistance from the underground bunker. Moscow team has taken down 3 patrol ships. Tokyo survivors report capturing an enemy communication hub. Cairo forces just eliminated a Korvax battalion. She looked at the world map, seeing green lights where red once dominated. We're actually winning individual battles. The transformation of human society was complete. Money became worthless, only ammunition had value. Former celebrities worked in weapons factories. Politicians fought on front lines. The rich gave everything they owned to the war effort. Social media became a weapon, coordinating attacks globally in real time. But humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology, it was rage. Private John had lost his family in the first attack. Now he led night raids against Korvax camps, painting his face with alien blood after each kill. "They wanted to make us slaves," he told his squad. "Instead, they made us monsters." The Korvax Empire had never faced a species that grew stronger from loss. Their psychological warfare experts couldn't understand it. Commander Zack sent a message to Admiral Voss. "Sir, recommend withdrawal. These humans are abnormal." They celebrate death if it means killing us. They sing while charging into certain death. Their children make drawings of killing us. This is not conquest. This is awakening something dangerous. Voss refused to listen. We are the Korvax. We've conquered galaxies. But Earth's counterattack grew stronger each day. Humans had learned to hack Korvax communications, spreading false orders that sent enemy units into ambushes. They poisoned water supplies meant for alien troops. They used their own cities as weapons, collapsing buildings on invader positions. The tide was turning. In space, more Korvax ships burned. On Earth, alien ground forces found themselves trapped in hostile territory, where every human was a potential killer. The Empire's easy conquest had become a nightmare. General Robert stood before a council of world leaders. Phase 2 begins tomorrow. We stop defending and start hunting. Every Korvax ship, every alien soldier, they all die. The room erupted in approval. Humanity had survived the first strike. Now it was time to show the galaxy what happened to those who dared attack Earth. The counterattack was just beginning. Asterisk. 6 months into the war, Admiral Voss received reports that defied logic. Half his fleet was gone. Not damaged or retreating, completely destroyed. The turning point came with humanity's discovery of the Korvax's fatal weakness. Dr. Anna's team, working with a captured Korvax scientist who defected rather than face human interrogation methods, learned the truth. The aliens' advanced technology relied on quantum processors that controlled everything: shields, weapons, even life support. Their entire civilization runs on these processors, Anna explained to the War Council. And I know how to break them. The solution was brilliantly simple. Earth's old radio towers, considered obsolete, could generate a specific frequency that caused quantum processors to overload. Humanity had accidentally discovered this when an old AM radio station's emergency broadcast caused nearby Korvax equipment to fail. Within days, every radio tower on Earth was modified. The signal couldn't travel far, but it didn't need to. When Korvax ships entered atmosphere to attack, they entered the kill zone. The Battle of Berlin changed everything. 50 Korvax destroyers descended to eliminate the city's resistance. General Robert gave the order: light them up. Thousands of radio towers activated simultaneously. The frequency wave hit the alien fleet like an invisible hammer. Shields failed. Engines died. Weapons systems shut down. 50 advanced warships became 50 falling chunks of metal. Captain Ton's squadron was ready. Remember, they killed our families. No mercy. The helpless Korvax ships were torn apart by human fighters. Not one alien vessel escaped, but humanity wasn't satisfied with defense anymore. They wanted vengeance. Using captured Korvax technology, Earth built its first interstellar warship. Ugly, brutish, but effective. They named it Revenge. Captain Susan, who'd lost her entire family in Tokyo, took command. We're taking the fight to them, she announced to her crew. The Revenge launched with a simple mission: destroy Korvax supply lines. The aliens had never experienced what humans called guerrilla warfare in space. The human ship would appear, destroy a supply convoy, and vanish before reinforcements arrived. On Korvax colony worlds, something unprecedented happened. Enslaved species saw the Empire's forces being defeated by primitives from Earth. Rebellions sparked across the galaxy. The Korvax suddenly faced not one enemy, but dozens. Administrator Vel reported to Voss. Sir, the Trakari slaves killed their overseers after hearing about Earth's resistance. The Melodi are refusing to work in factories. Even the Xanathi, enslaved for 3 centuries, are fighting back. The humans have started something we cannot stop. Meanwhile, Earth's population had transformed into something terrifying. Children played games about killing aliens. Artists painted murals of Korvax ships burning. Musicians wrote songs celebrating each victory. Humanity had turned war into culture. Major David, now leading European resistance, captured a Korvax commander named Rek. Instead of killing him immediately, David showed him something that broke the alien's spirit. To school, where 8-year-old children were assembling weapons while singing. "You see," David said, "you didn't invade a planet. You invaded a species that's been preparing for this moment throughout our entire evolution. We fought each other for practice. Now we have you." Rek's report to his superiors was simple. "We cannot win. These humans breed faster than we can kill them. Their children grow up wanting to kill us. They've turned our technology against us. Recommend immediate withdrawal from this galaxy." But it was too late for withdrawal. Humanity had tasted blood and wanted more. The quantum frequency weapon was mounted on missiles. Earth factories produced thousands. Then came the day Admiral Vos feared Earth launched its first offensive into space. 1,000 modified nuclear missiles, each carrying the frequency generator, launched toward the Korvax fleet. The aliens' proud armada, which had conquered civilizations millennia old, watched helplessly as their shields failed one by one. General Roberts' message broadcast across the galaxy. "You came to our world uninvited. You killed our people. You thought us weak. Now learn what humans do to those who threaten our home." The missiles hit. 300 Korvax capital ships died in an hour. The Empire's main invasion fleet was reduced to drifting wreckage around Earth. But humanity wasn't done. The captured Korvax scientist, broken by human interrogation methods, revealed the location of the Empire's nearest military base. Captain Susan set course for the Revenge. Time to visit their home. The turning point was complete. The Korvax Empire, ruler of 43 worlds, was losing to a species they'd considered insects. Worse, their example inspired every enslaved race to resist. Admiral Voss sent a desperate message to the ENP, Empire's home world. "The humans are coming. Prepare everything. If we cannot stop them, our entire civilization will fall." 1 year after first contact, humanity did something no species had ever attempted. They invaded Korvax space. The fleet was ugly by galactic standards. 30 human warships, built from salvaged alien technology and Earth steel, held together by determination more than engineering. But each ship carried humanity's rage and the quantum frequency weapons that spelled doom for Korvax technology. Admiral Lisa, formerly a submarine commander, led the assault. "Our ancestors conquered Earth's oceans in wooden ships," she told her crews. "We'll conquer space in these metal coffins if we have to." The Korvax military base, orbiting Proxima, Centauri, was the Empire's pride, a fortress that had stood for 3,000 years. Commander Gore looked at the approaching human fleet with disgust. "Only 30 ships? They insult us." He stopped laughing when his shields failed. The humans had upgraded their frequency weapon. Now it could be broadcast from their ships like a sphere of death. Every Korvax vessel within range simply stopped working. Fighters fell from space. Battleships drifted helplessly. The mighty fortress's weapons fell silent. "Board them all," Admiral Lisa ordered. "Leave no survivors." Human Marines, wearing modified spacesuits and carrying weapons made from Korvax technology, stormed the base. The fighting was brutal. Humans had learned that Korvax soldiers were stronger but slower, so they fought dirty attacking joints, using acid weapons, setting traps in corridors. Private Mike carved notches in his rifle for each kill. "That's for New York," he said, shooting a Korvax officer. "That's for Paris. That's for Beijing." By the battle's end, his rifle had 200 notches. The base's capture sent shockwaves through the Empire. The Korvax had never lost a military installation. Now, humans occupied it, broadcasting a message to every enslaved world. Rise up. The empire bleeds. And rise they did. On 43 conquered worlds, slaves rebelled. The Korvax military, already struggling against Earth, couldn't handle multiple insurgencies. Their empire, built over millennia, crumbled in months. Admiral Voss made a desperate decision. He gathered the remaining fleet, 500 ships, for one final assault on Earth. If we destroy their homeworld, the rebellion dies with it. But Earth was ready. General Robert had turned the entire planet into a weapon. Every continent had frequency transmitters. The moon had nuclear missile bases. Mars Colony, established just months ago using Korvax technology, had long-range plasma cannons. When Voss's fleet arrived, they flew into hell. The frequency wave hit them first, disabling shields on half the fleet. Then came the missiles, not hundreds, but tens of thousands. Earth had turned every nuclear weapon into a delivery system. Mars Colony opened fire, plasma beams cutting through ships like paper, but the masterstroke was psychological. Earth broadcast on all frequencies, in the Korvax language, recordings of their own soldiers' dying screams from previous battles. The alien crews, already demoralized, heard their comrades' final moments, echoing through their ships. Captain Tom, now commanding a squadron of captured Korvax fighters, led the dogfight in space. Human pilots, trained in video games since childhood, outmaneuvered alien pilots who relied on computer assistance. When those computers failed from frequency attacks, the Korvax were helpless. The battle lasted 18 hours. When it ended, Voss's fleet was gone. The admiral himself was captured when his flagship was boarded. Humans found him in his command throne, unable to comprehend defeat. How? He asked General Robert. We had superior technology, superior numbers, superior everything. Robert's answer was simple. You had everything except the will to die for your cause. Every human who fought knew they might die, and they didn't care. Can you say the same about your soldiers? With their military crushed and colonies in rebellion, the Korvax Empire collapsed. But humanity wasn't finished. They wanted to ensure no one would ever threaten Earth again. Dr. Anna had one final creation, a virus that targeted Korvax DNA specifically. It didn't kill quickly. It sterilized them, ensuring the species would fade away within a generation. Is this genocide? A reporter asked her. No, Anna replied coldly. Genocide is what they tried to do to us. This is justice. The virus was loaded into missiles and fired at every known Korvax world. Within weeks, the Empire's population discovered they could no longer reproduce. Their species was doomed to a slow extinction. Earth's message to the galaxy was clear. We wanted peace. You brought war. Now face the consequences of awakening humanity's wrath. The final assault was over. The Korvax Empire, which had ruled for millennia, was broken in 1 year by a species they'd considered primitive. The galaxy watched in terror and awe. 5 years after the war ended, xenorchaeologists searched for traces of the once mighty Korvax Empire. They found only ruins and silence. The systematic destruction had been complete. After the virus spread, humanity hadn't stopped. They'd sent cleaner fleets to every Korvax world, not to occupy, but to ensure the Empire could never rise again. These weren't missions of conquest, they were missions of erasure. Captain Susan, now Admiral, led the largest cleaner fleet. Standing on the bridge of the upgraded Revenge, she watched the last Korvax military shipyard burn. Every forge that made weapons against Earth, every factory that built ships to kill humans, they all burn. But the true horror for the Korvax wasn't the military defeat. It was watching their legacy disappear. Humans and freed slave species systematically destroyed Korvax monuments, museums, and libraries. 30,000 years of history turned to ash. On the Korvax homeworld, Supreme Leader Kraft made a final recording. We are gods among the stars. We ruled galaxies. Then we met humans, a young species we thought to enslave. We learned too late that some species are not meant to be conquered. They are meant to be left alone. The recording ended with him taking his own life rather than face the slow extinction his species faced. The freed slave races showed no mercy either. The Trokari, enslaved for 500 years, hunted down Korvax refugees. The Melodi destroyed every Korvax colony in their sector. The Xenathi, remembering 3 centuries of oppression, turned Korvax technology against its creators. But it was humanity's cold efficiency that truly ended the empire. They didn't just defeat the Korvax, they assured they could never return. Every Korvax ship was tracked and destroyed. Every colony was marked and monitored. Every attempt to cure the sterilization virus was sabotaged. Dr. Anna, now Earth's Director of Galactic Security, explained the policy to the Galactic Council that formed after the war. The Korvax thought they could attack Earth without consequences. We're making sure no one else makes that mistake. Some alien species called humans barbaric. Others called them monsters. But none dared challenge them. The psychological impact spread across the galaxy. The Varnari Empire, planning their own expansion, canceled all military operations after studying Earth's war. The Celestial Confederacy, which had considered humans for enslavement, instead offered them trade agreements and apologies for even considering it. Earth became known by a new name across the galaxy, the world that kills empires. On Earth itself, the transformation was permanent. Humanity emerged from the war, unified and militarized. Every citizen knew how to fight. Children grew up learning alien anatomy alongside mathematics. The planet's defenses became legendary invisible satellites that could detect ships light years away, moon bases bristling with weapons, and the frequency transmitters that had become Earth's signature weapon. General Robert, now Earth's Supreme Defense Commander, established the doctrine that would guide humanity. Never again. We didn't ask for war, but we'll always be ready for it. The last free Korvax, a small colony hidden in a distant nebula, sent a plea to Earth for mercy. They offered everything: technology, resources, servitude, just to be allowed to live and have children. Earth's response was delivered by Admiral Lisa personally. She arrived with 10 warships, frequency weapons charged. The Korvax colony ship tried to run. They made it 3 light minutes before their engines died. You want mercy? Lisa broadcast to the dying ship. Where was mercy when you burned our cities? When you killed our children? You created this version of humanity. Now live, or rather, die with the consequences. The colony ship was left drifting, its population doomed to grow old and die without offspring. It became a monument to the Empire's fall, a ghost ship that other species would find centuries later, filled with Korvax skeletons and a message carved in the hull: Earth remembers. By year 10, the Korvax were functionally extinct. The last emperor died alone on a prison world, watching the sunset and remembering when his species ruled the stars. His final words: we should have left Earth alone. Humanity's transformation was complete. From a divided, primitive species to the galaxy's most feared warriors. They established the Earth Alliance, offering protection to peaceful species, but promising annihilation to any who threatened them. The galaxy had learned a permanent lesson. Humanity would rather die fighting than live as slaves. And if you forced them to fight, they wouldn't stop until you were nothing but a cautionary tale. The Korvax Empire, once spanning 43 worlds and lasting 30,000 years, vanished because they made one mistake. They dared to strike Earth, and humanity's wrath made them disappear forever. The end.